Okay then. Anybody has sentences they wanna start with? Okay,
I have a
please.
paragraph. I have 2 sentences. It's a paragraph.
Okay, so Sharon, you go next. You go
And
second.
I'll have a
Start
couple.
Cindy. Yeah. Go.
Okay. Los frases estaban solo en mi cabeza.
Wow, that's good, Wally. Very good.
What did you say, Wally? Say it again.
Los frases estaban solo en mi cabeza. And I wasn't sure whether I should use estaban or fueron.
Well, fueron means they went. Anytime you say I went or did you go, that would be the free words.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna blow my nose, so I'm gonna close my camera for a minute.
Well, yeah, you should mute probably too.
Thank you so much. Gosh. You're like the cool kids I never had in school. Okay, that was perfect, Wally. What else?
Oof, that's it.
Okay.
Solo en mi cabeza.
Okay.
En la noche.
I have another student that says that, and I told him about that you saying it as well. So it's very intriguing how that happens.
What is it in translation? Is cabeza is the head, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Los frases. Los
frases.
Oraciones.
She won't know what that is, I think.
Well, that was the first one I used to use, remember? And that one stuck with me.
Frases
is easy.
Like phrases or sentences? That's the one we're going to use for sentences?
Frases.
Frases es decir. Frases es decir.
So, okay, now that you understand what he said, try again.
Easy.
Los frases estaban solo en mi cabeza.
Uh-huh.
Cabeza.
The phrases are in your head?
Yeah, just only in my head.
Oh.
The sentences are only in my head.
That's what I tried today too, Wally. We're really in tune. I had such a bad experience yesterday at the dog rescue.
Why?
I thought I was talking fine, and it just blank stare, and then right in front of a whole bunch of people, so I felt really, I thought, oh, I've got to make changes on, I don't know what I'm saying, but the blank stare was really, I don't know what happened. It's like I went this way and they were going that way.
So did you try again?
I did, and then finally I said it in English really slow, and then she knew what I was saying, but she just, even in English, she just looked at me, and I don't know if I got distracted because there's so many people around here and there telling me what to do this, and I was trying to introduce myself to her and ask a question, and yeah, it went really sideways. So I'm going back again tomorrow. And I'm going to be a little more prepared. I was taken by surprise.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it. So usually when I go out, I have a few sentences or some words that are particular to my situation. And there was all words I didn't understand. They were doing inventory and talking about where to take dogs here and there, and there was a lot of people there. So I kind of felt a little, I don't know, a little dumb, a little more challenged than I needed to be.
That's a shitty experience.
It was. I was really, like, it bugged me all day. So, but
that's too bad.
I was in a rush. I went there without kind of thinking before I went that I was gonna be try to practice some Spanish. So I guess when you say Judith, have a little bit of prep ahead because all the other places I haven't had that problem. It just, you know, when I went for pedicure, haircut, shopping, I kind of plan ahead what I'm going to say a little bit. And this time I just got taken by surprise and I guess I froze. I guess that's what's happened. Any input, Judith?
Yeah, it's gonna happen, and don't let it like throw you off guard or anything like that. It's a national hobby. It's a national sport here to give people blank stares. That's like hang on, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna Cindy like left the conversation altogether. I'm trying to bring it back in.
Did
One
she
sec,
freeze?
just I don't know, she just kind of, I think she hung up or something, but she kind of
she was
exited
on
the
her
group
phone,
and she
right?
wants to come back.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, yesterday I couldn't access any Skype at all.
Okay.
It kept freezing I was trying to review the Monday lesson and I couldn't.
Hang on a sec. Sorry, I'm just sending her instructions.
No, it's fine.
So Sharon, yeah, I can I just be bluntly straightforward with you because I don't know how to say it in a different way. When you speak, I would like you to speak with more confidence because, like, you notice yourself in the recordings. You do not convey confidence, my friend. So one of the keys here, Mexican people, especially in the countryside, not like the ruling class, like the administrative class that went to the city, that got a government job, and they're like used to telling people what to do and handling things. The other parts of society, you gotta tell them what to do. They don't excel in thinking for themselves. And so you need a degree of confidence when you speak. You just like, I don't care if you give me a blank look. I don't care if I have an accent. I don't care if it's really hard to understand me. I'm speaking to you. And I worked in a language school in Aguascalientes, which is a state inland.
Mhm.
It has a lot of car plants. You know, when they assemble the Nissan and the Mazda and the Honda, all those car plants, it's there. And Nissan, Honda, and all this other stuff. We had Japanese executives relocated to Mexico with their family. The weirdest thing I've ever heard in my life was a Japanese executive speaking Spanish. You think you got to stare? I got eyes like satellite dishes. I did not compute at all. It's like when you watch a Japanese movie and you see like how the men speak. The Japanese men generally bark. They don't speak. The women are like mushy mushy, me 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 me, and the men sound like an angry bulldog. And so he's speaking Spanish with that Japanese, like the way they break down their vowels and stuff. It was incredible. So you got way more confidence than this guy. And
I'm
you
working on
just
it.
like stick to your lane, stick to your lane, stick to your lane. Believe me, they will eventually make room. Like that's just like driving here. Is that helpful?
Yes, I'm gonna go back there. I just had to take a day off to regroup. But I think mostly what I'm having the problem with is remembering like the Spanish words to like what I'm trying to say. Uh, Like so that's practice. That's all I can say. That's just practice, practice.
Yeah.
To not memorize, but get all the like past tense, future tense, just so much.
Yeah, there's definitely so much.
Mhm.
There is definitely so much. One of the keys to this is write down beforehand what it is that you want to say. if you know you're going to go to the shelter and talk about a certain dog or dog food, or talk to like the builder about the kitchen or whatever, kind of like making a speech or a toast at a wedding, kind of write down either pointers or a structure or even the whole conversation if you can. It shouldn't be very long. It shouldn't be like 5 sentences probably. So that's one thing that should give you a degree of confidence. But the only way, really, it's like hard in practice and easy boots on the ground. Like it's that uncomfortable stage you have to go through, and unfortunately, it's not like a month or 3 months. When you become fluent in a new language, and you think and you speak, you think in one way in English, and you speak in a different language. That uncomfortable stage takes a long while. That's inevitable.
Yeah, I felt like I was kind of getting out there and talking, and then all of a sudden yesterday it was like, uh-oh. So I just
that happens to me too, Sharon.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just I'll try 2 or 3 times, and I really don't care if I make mistakes. And I know when I'm getting a blank look, it's like, okay, you're not getting it, and I'm speaking Spanish. Well, what I think is Spanish. And so then I will just say, hablas inglés? Because everybody understands that. Or
mhm.
tú hablas inglés? You understand English? And if they say no, I'll shrug my shoulders and I'll try, rephrasing something, with simple Spanish 4-year-old terms, right? Because I hit a wall when I try to talk like I do in English. And so I think to
Yes.
myself, okay, how do I simplify the sentence and make it and try to convey the same meaning? Or I just give up and I'll say, oh well, and then I start pointing.
Yeah,
But
when
don't
I
let it
went
get you
to,
down.
I remembered your story about Divertado or
Divertado, yeah.
Divertado.
Mhm.
And that's exactly what happened to me yesterday, but just in front of a whole bunch of people I didn't know. So it was a little uncomfortable.
Well, then you'll probably never see them again. So what? I mean,
I'm gonna avoid them.
no, but you got one up on them because you are actually learning Spanish, and they're probably not learning anything. So, like pat yourself on the back. No, for sure. Like, and don't worry about it. And when Judith says confidence, I get what she's saying, because I sometimes um, I might sound confident, but it's not necessarily how I'm feeling.
Yeah, you
But
do sound confident.
I try, because I don't care. I mean, um, one thing, like, and I've told this several times now, I think, like when I was learning to ski and I stopped falling down, I was taking lessons, and the instructor said to me, like, you're too tentative. Like, you don't learn if you don't fall down. So with Spanish, you're not going to learn if you don't make mistakes. Because that is, for me, when I make a mistake in my language, that's
Hmm.
when it reinforces, oh, now I remember how I'm supposed to say it.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I wouldn't be too hard on myself, coming from somebody who's really hard on himself.
I know.
Oh yeah, yeah. Wally's the expert of being hard on yourself. So yes.
Well,
Anyway,
I'm gonna pick myself up and go back there tomorrow and but have a little prep
yeah,
ready.
for
Could you
sure.
tell
Like,
us what you told them? Like, what was it that you were talking about?
Just trying to introduce myself, and then they asked me a question, and I was trying to say, oh, I can't understand, and it just wasn't getting it across, and no entiendo, siempre, olvidar mi español, and she was just looking at me, and I thought maybe it's because I had a really bad
But it's
accent.
what they do. Like Mexican people, remember, like they have been enslaved. They've been conquered, brutally enslaved. The land was raped. The people were raped. Like what the Spaniards did was, right? So, like, think about it. Like, the blank looks, it's like they're not giving you any reaction. They don't know how to handle the situation. They don't know what's the next step. They just like stare at you, but it's not like aggressive. It's not because you are something. It's a dynamic. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm. I just had to tell you that I I had to tell
I'm glad you
somebody
tell us, and we're your
because
support group.
yeah,
Some days are
because
bad. Some days are bad,
mhm,
Sharon. I mean, I wish I could tell you a whole journey of like only good days. Unfortunately, that's not really how that plays out. There
yeah,
are
I know,
bad
I
days.
know.
You're right.
I remember your story about Mr. Dick and um Wally's story about trying to divertado. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of get that off my chest so that
So,
Well, I hope you feel
can
better.
you
I
recreate the conversation? Like, do you remember? Could you like tell us the Spanish stuff? Maybe you can heal the experience. So,
it it yeah, I can't really remember. There was like so many people, and then the woman that came from the shelter, uh we kind of have this sally port where you can't go in and out. So there's a whole bunch of people in a small space, and then somebody's American person, the Mexican lady came over and she goes, "Oh, here we go. How am I ever going to talk here? How am I going to remember?" And I was like, "Oh no, what's going on?" And it just kind of snowballed from there. Everybody's trying to, the English people were trying to talk, and that woman was just standing there staring at us. And I kind of felt sorry for her because all the English people were coming in, um, talking to her, and all she did was walk into this gate, and we were all standing there. So it, it was I can't even really remember other than, oh, here we go. Now we got to remember our Spanish, blah, blah, blah. And this woman comes in, and we're four of us standing there. So it wasn't a good situation for any of the five people that were standing there. So it, and then I was trying to spit something out, and it just kind of it's going like this, and then it went sideways.
no wonder it was a shit show. There's
It,
5
it
nervous
was,
people in a small space.
yeah, and it is a very small space, and the dogs are barking, and they're trying to get out, and yeah, it was chaotic.
Now,
So,
do dogs bark in
Okay.
Spanish or they just bark in
oh,
English?
Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely Spanish.
Mm.
Because the people that work there understand the dogs. I don't. They all speak dog. Anyway, I just wanted to get that out of like, I want to get that out, and nobody else I can really tell. Nobody here is, none of my friends are going to understand that. They all can't understand why I'm not fluent after 1 year of learning.
Well, tell them to
People
sign
have
up with.
unrealistic expectation. Like that. The only reason you're not fluent is because you can't possibly retain the amount of words you learned.
Mhm.
They can't be all like this, like like a really long shelf, and it's just like easy to grab. They're all like back there, and you could this right.
Yeah.
That's how
So,
I
So
think about it.
so Sharon,
uh-huh.
one thing that I like yesterday, I was going over my notes and it was like, oh, Iba oh, I remember that because I haven't used Iba or Ibas or any of that for the longest time, right? And when I'm in conversation, for me, the most I'm trying to do, like in the present, is present tense when I'm talking with
Yes.
Spanish people.
Yes, me too.
And all the stuff we've learned with he, ha, iba, like I can pull out now out of conversations, I pull out more the fue and the estaban, because you
Hmm.
hear estaba quite a bit actually, and
Yeah.
you hear fuia a fair amount. You don't hear the other tenses as much, like you went or those things. So my ears are tuned up for hearing other people talking. Do I try to integrate all of that stuff in my conversation? Honestly, no. I mean, if I'm talking to the guard, I will say, fui a la tienda, or fui a la restaurant, a restaurante, or something like that. Just a simple sentence. So I can kind of try and, remember it. But I mean, we have like a ton of stuff in the last 3 months that,
Yes.
like, I mean, like, I try to read stuff. I listen to YouTube videos. Um, like, I mean, I don't know how many hours of Spanish a week I do, and a lot of it I don't understand. But I figure the more I immerse myself in it, like I can pull out different words that I never knew before. I mean, I like listen to people, like I had one of my friends back home in Canada. Oh, you still doing Spanish lessons? You fluent yet? Well,
Yeah.
you know, you look at an Instagram ad, be fluent in 3 weeks and travel in
Yeah.
Spain. And, that's like I said, when I first interviewed Judith before I signed up, and she told me 2 years and be prepared to do the work, like that was the first time I actually heard an honest evaluation of what it takes at 65 to learn a second language.
Hmm.
And I don't think I'm going to be fluent after 2 years. Now, that's my negative side. But at the same time, these people that all they see is these stupid pop-up ads on Facebook and Instagram thinking that, oh yeah, I'm going to be fluent in like in a month. That's their expectation. We know better. That's all
Oh,
I have to
yeah.
say.
Yeah.
I mean, we know better. And like, I mean, there's people downstairs here in my building. They were signed up with a Spanish instructor, and they were going to learn the Spanish language. Is so romantic. They gave up after 3 weeks.
Oh, the people here too that remember they went every day for 10 hours or something. They're going to be
Yeah.
fluent in 2 weeks. It's like, oh my gosh, how could you even think that? But it's funny that you should say that that Iba. I was looking at that today too. We- We're tuned in quite on the same page here. The hay and all that one. That one's not in my head really very
So
You don't
so
have to
solid
keep it in
yet.
your head. You don't like. Honestly, it's not like. Listen, we're building a castle in your head to house all those words. I don't. You understood it at the moment. You got your notes, so you can flip back like Wally did, and oh yeah, that's what it is.
Like the
One day you'll use it, one
circles.
day you'll remember it, but some things come secondary and third and fourth place to the ones we use the most, like the circles and the voyage.
The circles and the voyage are like I feel fairly confident. Listening to it is not. I'm not as confident, but knowing what I want to say with the circles and the voyage, I feel fairly confident. Hearing it back sometimes is the challenge. I went and did the like Wally, you said to put the uh, subtitles or click closed captioning, whatever it's called. And I
so you can
started to do
read.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I started to do that, and yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go back there and kick some ass at the rescue tomorrow
So let
in
me let me
Spanish.
Yeah.
let me tell you about a win I had yesterday.
Okay.
So we're at Lay shopping store, grocery store, and we're shopping for groceries. And Lay is a store chain that caters more to Mexicans than, like we were the only gringos in the store, right? It's
Mhm.
mostly Mexicans. I love that store. It's awesome. The people, they want to practice their English. The people bagging the grocery. Anyway, this lady, I'm standing in line. One till's open, waiting for Julie because she had to go run off and get something else. And it was like, okay, so this they've got the checkout where you just like at Walmart, you just run your groceries over the scanner yourself and blah blah blah. Well, anyway, the lady that was at the second till, she asked me if I wanted to come over, and she asked in Spanish, and she walked towards me, and I thought to myself, okay, I am waiting. So I said it to her in Spanish. I'm waiting for my spouse. Un momento. And she didn't give me a blank look. She just went, "Oh, okay," and then she went to the person behind me
Oh,
and
great.
asked them to go. Right,
Yeah.
one sentence, and so. But I had to think of it. But I had a little bit of prep time because she was walking towards me. So, because I still sometimes I'll make the mistake where I go, estoy aprender. I am learn Spanish, right? You got to
Mhm.
add the ing, right? So I hope you get a couple of wins like that because, I mean, she just like, holy cow. Like, I mean, she looked at me, no blank look. Oh, okay. And carried on. And that
That's
was like,
awesome.
oh,
Yeah.
don't ask me to say a second sentence.
Sharon, I just want to add for both of you, in conclusion, and to everybody who's listening to the recording, it's a long journey. There's good days and bad days. It's just the way life is. You got ups and downs. There are going to be bad days. They're going to suck. You're going to feel sucky. The point is not to let it define you. One sucky day doesn't mean you suck. Doesn't mean something's wrong with you. Like, perspective. Okay, that's my place here to give you the perspective.
Yeah. That's why I want to share with you guys, because I know all three of us or four of us and have had to go through all this, to test the waters and then get drowned a little bit, come back up for air. But yeah, I guess it kind of shakes your confidence a little bit. So I decided to do one paragraph and see if I could just spit it out instead of trying to read. So can I do my paragraph?
Please, yes,
Okay.
please.
Okay. So um
Cindy, are you with
fuimos.
us?
Oh, Cindy.
Oh,
Hola,
she's
She's
Cindy.
back.
alive.
Oh.
I've been on my phone listening, but I finally got my computer working.
Oh, good. I had computer issues yesterday too. I couldn't get on my computer at all for Skype.
Me, I just have issues. Come on, you guys.
Okay, go ahead with your sentence, Sharon.
Fuimos para Taco Tuesday, martes, en el restaurante Dos Meras. Nu- nuestra amiga, nuestra amigos conduciendo, conduciendo.
Perfect.
I just got to look at my notes. Oh, no, nuestro amigos Esteban conduciendo. Les pedimos tomar el centro.
Tomar, we asked them to
To
take
take
what?
us.
Ah.
Should I say tomar nos?
Yes, exactly
Okay.
right.
I didn't know if I could do pedimos tomarnos yeah,
Yep.
pedimos, two conjugated verbs in a sentence. Is like right
You
after each other.
technically you can't. You can't. But the nose plugged into a verb, that doesn't it doesn't mean it's a conjugated verb. It's a different
Correct.
animal. It's not a conjugated verb.
Okay, so that's what threw me a bit. But that was my paragraph. I was trying to do a little bit of like remember, train for remembering, so I could spit it out, and then do some pronouns with the the plug-in at the end of the verb. And then I learned that new driving word from Heidi. That in this area they don't use manahar, they use conducir, which is interesting.
You
See,
made a
that
flawless
sentence was way beyond
sentence.
me.
Which sentence? The
Well, what you just did, like, I mean, I would have to, like, I'm not sure I would be able to keep up with you.
that.
No,
But Wally, you
seriously.
know all those. You know all those, except for maybe conducir.
I know and I understand, but
Mhm.
it doesn't necessarily mean that I can actually articulate it just the way you did.
Yes, I get that too.
So that's, no,
Um,
so good for you. Like,
yeah, I'm trying to make myself say it out loud instead of reading every single word. Like I had a couple there that I had to look at, but
Can you say it again? I'll type it in on the screen so we have a screenshot of
okay.
it.
Fui para Taco Tuesday or Martes en el restaurante Dos Mares. Nuestro amigos Esteban conduciendo. Les pedimos tomar el centro.
We asked them to take El Centro. That doesn't make sense. I need a connection word. We asked them to take El Centro.
To take to tomar nos
Tomarnos, yeah.
el centro.
so Dos Mares is that's name of a restaurant?
Yeah, see,
Okay.
I put
So-
that in because Dos Mares I thought two C's kind of might throw you
Well,
off.
it sure threw me off. Well,
So that's the name of the restaurant. Yeah.
You're amazing, Sharon.
Working on it. Working on it. Thank you.
Wally, am I the only one sitting here waiting for your potential to bloom out of you? Because I know
right?
you're fully capable of doing this.
I know, right? Just, yeah, just like, I mean, I'm just keeping everybody in anticipation because when, the flower's in a bud. And one day I'm gonna show up and it's just gonna go like this.
Wally is a flower in a bud. I like that. You should tell that to Julia. Let's see what she has to say about that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, we've been married too long. It doesn't matter.
I bet you'll give her a good laugh.
His brother roll her eyes.
Yeah, a lot of eye rolling around me too. But it is a very good analogy. I love it.
A flower in a bud.
Now in
That's a sentence
Espanol.
I bet Wally never thought he was going to say at 65. Good work. Cindy.
So this last sentence, les pedimos tomamos, that doesn't make any sense to me. We're taking.
Les pedimos
We're
tomarnos.
asking.
Yeah, it's not a great logic. We ask them, but then we ask them for what? There's got to be some action, and the action is to take. And furthermore, it's not to take an object or a thing, it's to take us. So how would you say that?
How would I say that?
Yeah, go for it.
To take. So if I use tomamos,
It actually should be yavar, because tomar is to take in the hand and to take in the car would be yavar, but never mind. That's minor. Sharon,
I couldn't. I was trying to. I have yavar first, and then it didn't sound like to take away. But I guess take to the airport, take to the. I was looking here. Take you somewhere.
It's a 0.07 mistake out of a scale of 10, so just never mind. Continue, Cindy, please.
Well, I guess I would say les llevamos.
No, because that means we took them. Okay, I'm gonna type in English and you're gonna try to give me Spanish words.
Okay.
That's the English meaning. Now give it to me in Spanish.
Nose.
We
We
won't
asked-
start with the nose. Well, never mind. I'm silent. You
Okay.
talk.
To take us. So we asked them. I'm trying to figure out the two verbs. I'm gonna try and so
That's take your time. That's what we're here for.
Preguntar, no, to ask. That's like ask a question.
You can use the example on the screen. Like she did everything right. You're like she did it right. You can use those verbs. It's correct. If it saves you time.
So pedir is to ask for. Okay.
No pressure. Like we're silent and patient. You just take your time. It's all good here.
Pedime. I'm trying to use they asked us.
It's not. Look at the screen.
We asked them. What?
Yeah.
We amos.
Amos is a verb ending, but you can't just tell me amos and expect me to understand.
Pedamos.
Yes. Pedimos, but yeah, that's great.
We asked them. I'm trying to find an example that we've done.
No, well, has not been done. This is, real life. Go, you do it now. Pioneer.
And so the
Gamble,
ending,
I know, but Gamble, like, I'm putting you on the spot here. I need you to translate for me. We ask them to take us.
so it is a nos or los.
Give me a few versions of sentences. Like, try me out. Like, tell me what you gamble. Use your gut feel.
I'm not really there.
Okay, well, wait. Find a ladder, climb on it, gamble on it. Like, we're waiting. Give us your best shot.
Nos pedimos llegar a el centro.
It's a great crouch, and you can say it that way, but it is not the meaning of this English sentence. So if you wanted to say this, it's on the screen. How would you tell me that in Spanish?
So just les pedimos llevarnos al centro?
I mean, you started by arguing with my logic, like how it doesn't sound right, how come it is right? And I'm saying, no problem, give me your logic. Let's work on that. There are 2 to 3 ways to say anything, agreed? So there is a way that if I break it out, it's kind of a bit more coherent and looks less weird. But the only problem is that a local person might say that. Okay. Now, before I give you the second answer, I want to show you the logic. We ask them, the key to those complicated things is anything something is complex, you break it down to smaller bits like molecules, right? And then you see it works exactly like the structures we learned. Circle plus verb, verb plus TMA, etc. We ask them, how would you say that in Spanish, please? Cindy.
Nosotros les preguntamos.
No, because preguntar is to ask a question, but in light of this context, using what you've learned and what you've learned with us, how do you say there is a very specific structure? It's 2 words in Spanish. It's a pronoun and a verb. Go.
Well, nos pedimos.
Nos pedimos means we asked, and it's the nos is double we. So just replace the nos with the them pronoun.
Which is low.
No, the them, they people.
It's not le, because that's he or she.
That's
Us or
right.
we is nos. I don't have that written down.
Okay, so you missed it. Less.
Less equals them.
It refers to, okay, refers to them / you all, like you guys. Okay, you guys. Okay, where I'm going with this was a long-winded way to come back to les pedimos. Pedimos is the circle, we ask. Les is they people. We do the action, the pronoun is recipient. We ask them. Agreed?
Yeah.
That's your formula. How do I say we ask them? Les pedimos.
Les pedimos.
Great. Now, the other part of the sentence. We ask them for what? To take us. How would you say to take us? Like in this context, right? Again, it's an action with a pronoun. Kiera Gambo, how would you say that to me? To take us.
Llegarnos.
Say again?
Llegarnos.
That's
Llegarnos.
to arrive. Use the other one that needs to take. It's very similar.
To take.
Take away or
Tocar.
carry. Llevar.
Llevar.
Take away or carry. If you want to, right. If you want to take a pen and write down next to tomar, that means to take. If you would like to write down in brackets, it means to take in your hand when you literally receive something physically.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the verb list. I've been trying to use it.
So yeah, if you would like to write down in brackets next to tomar, that it means to take physically in your person, in your hand. And llevar would mean to take in a car or to carry, like, you know, can you take my sunglasses in your bag or can you take me to the airport?
Okay.
Take away or carry.
Llevarnos then.
So, llevarnos means to take us.
Llevamos.
No. In light of this context,
Yes.
it would be llevarnos.
Okay, two separate words.
In Mexico, people will likely spell it either as one word or two separate because grammar rules have been thrown off the window in light of real life. For the purpose of this exercise, I would separate it for two words, but when I speak, they do sound as one. Llevarnos. Les pedimos llevarnos al centro. That's how it sounds like a long train.
Say that one more time. Les pedimos
llevarnos.
Llevarnos. Les pedimos llevarnos al centro.
Okay. Okay. Now you see how we broke out this complicated thing into a logical two-step formula? With us? There is one and only rule. We ask them, pronoun first, we do the action. To take us, nos is plugged into the verb because we are the recipient of the action. Now the second way to say that is this.
Because if somebody said that to me, I would have no idea what that meant. I would need to actually see that written down to be able to break that down to actually translate this.
That thing with the pronoun is the part of Spanish that takes the longest to like absorb and comprehend, right? It's like Wally says, when Wally heard chant, he understood her, but he cannot really articulate it back. right? So it's like a 2-lane learning process. It is what it is, and it's such a big part of the language, you can't avoid it. Notice the second sentence on the screen.
Les pedimos que nos llevan. It's missing something.
Oh, okay. Explain your logic to me.
Like al centro or something, right? At the back?
Oh yeah, okay. I'll
Okay.
type it in al centro. I'll do that, no problem.
So they ask us that.
No.
Les
Leave the
pedimos.
action. Start again.
We ask them.
That's right.
That's a hard one. I'm not used to that.
Pronouns, gotta love them.
And
You will love them.
Cindy,
They make
it
life
took
so
me
simple.
forever.
Like, they will love them, honestly.
We will. It took me a long time I had that sentence in English to figure out how I wanted to say it. I even got, I had to look at all the verbs and then try and plug it in. It took a long time just to do that short sentence, which I thought would sound right. And then I don't even know really now if it did. Because this other one.
It obviously did to Spanish-speaking people. It's to Spanish learning people that it didn't.
Oh, it took me a long time to figure, because I wanted to work pronouns and I wanted to just say what we asked and what we were doing. So that's why that sentence came out like that. And I was trying to challenge myself with pronouns.
One of the reasons I will show you in a few more weeks, when you feel a bit more confident with these pronouns and you stop being overwhelmed and doubt yourself, I will show you the 2 ways to say anything, because there is really a 2 ways to say anything, even with the pronouns. One of the benefits of that, the plus side, is that when you don't remember one thing, like you don't remember a verb conjugation or the time tense, you don't remember one thing, you be sure you could say it in a different way and still be correct. The second version uses a verb conjugation. Nos llevan. You got to remember your verb conjugations. What happens if you forget?
You look them
Well,
up.
that's okay too. Don't worry. Llevarnos. Llevarnos is a bit easier. It's literally the root verb with the nos. Like, how simple can it get more than that?
And so you could use that here.
What's that?
Llevarnos.
Yeah, you see the 2 versions on the screen, les pedimos or those 2 versions are both correct. The chairman was right. Los pedimos llevarnos al centro. It's 100% correct. I hear people say like that all the time.
So when you put in the alternative, les podemos que nos llevan al centro, nos llevan, why would you use that way of writing it?
Because when
Llevan
the
would
pronoun
be
comes
they,
first, when the pronoun
take.
comes first, it always
Yeah.
followed by a conjugated action. That's why.
right.
Okay. And what it amounts to in the mind of the listener, what it amounts to when you hear nos llevan,
Mhm.
it means one and only thing.
Mhm.
They take us.
Mhm.
Okay. When I say about speaking like a 4-year-old and make things crystal clear in the mind of the listener,
Mhm.
it doesn't get any more crystal clear than that. Because the pronoun first, always followed by a conjugated verb that tells you who's doing the action, that is the most crystal clear structure in Spanish.
Mhm.
No room for mistake.
Oh, that's That's anxiety producing.
So the pronoun is who's doing the action.
No, 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 and
Way
no.
around.
The
Other way around.
pronoun is, okay, remember, in this structure, we call it scenario number 1, and that is the pronoun first, immediately followed by a conjugated verb. The verb tells you who's doing the action, and the pronoun is the recipient.
Okay, that makes sense.
Perfect. Now, I'll give you a foolproof way to remember that from now on. Do you know how to say I love you in Spanish?
Te amo.
Te amor.
Wonderful. None of you will ever get confused. When you hear te amo, you immediately know what that means, right?
Like cerveza.
Now, look at it. It is literally a pronoun followed by a conjugated verb.
It is.
Yeah, you're not
So
confused.
every time.
So you can
so-
do it on all the other pronouns too.
So every time I think of filling in my pronouns, I have this flashing light. Te amo. I love you. Te amo.
Yeah. Do you know what? Amo is the verb amar, to love, in the I person present tense.
Yeah.
Understood?
So you could say les amo.
Okay, great. Yes, you can. And what does that mean?
I love them.
Um,
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I thought it was I love less.
No. Think again.
Like pequeño. Like pequeño.
Like pequeño. So you see what you see? You can take that example and build on it
Mm-hmm.
because it's accurate every time. Look at this, and now look at nos llevan. Can you argue with that logic? If te amo means I love you, can you argue with the logic that nos llevan means they take us? Try.
I cannot argue it.
Then it's a win for you. If it makes logic in your own, if you like, it makes logic in your own sense. That's how your brain, okay, now I can like expand on it, build on it.
What did you say the other day? Is there something like
What? Wally, you're muted or paused or whatever you did.
We lost you.
Yeah, put yourself on unmute or whatever you did, Wally. Okay. This is what Heidi asked me on Monday afternoon. You guys weren't there, but Sharon, what does this sentence mean?
Man, I put myself on hold somehow.
Yeah, I noticed.
Sharon's muted.
Sharon, you're muted.
How are you? How are
Yeah,
you?
specifically the verb
How-
is,
How are you feeling?
how do you feel?
How are you feeling?
Right?
How do you feel?
Right. Notice it is the same structure, like te amo.
How do you feel?
Yeah. Remember Heidi asked me, how do you feel? How are you feeling? Same thing. Who, if the, okay, enough. You guys can write down some useful pronouns. The beautiful thing with the pronouns, you can pair them with anything. Wally, you talked about the iba'a.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is the formula for iba'a? Iba'a followed by what?
A root verb or a location.
Wonderful. Now, if you put a pronoun in front of that,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to get this sentence. What does that mean?
I was going to call you.
Wonderful. This is how you decode complex sentences in the past tense.
Say that again.
No problem. Were you with us in this the lesson we did about Iba'a? I think you were. It's one of the first ones you attended. Do you remember what Iba'a means?
No.
Okay, so never mind, we'll do a repetition on it, but Wally just was reading through his notes today and stumbled upon it. So Iba'a means I was going to, I was about to, right?
Okay,
In
that's
other
past
words,
tense. Yeah.
every time you talk, you meant to do an action, but it didn't happen. Like I was gonna call you, I was meaning to tell you, right? I was about to walk out the door. Those kind of things, say it with Iba'a. Here are the two slides again on the screen, so you can see all the rest of the words.
Okay.
Now the formula is Iba'a is a conjugated verb, so you're going to do an action. The second word would be a root verb, like Iba'a llamar, Iba'a comprar, Iba'a ir, Iba'a buscar. Okay. So if,
I was going to call you.
right, so to call is an interaction between two people. So you're never gonna say, I was going to call. Like there's always somebody, the recipient on the other end of the action. So you will need a pronoun at the beginning of all that structure.
Oh, okay.
So if Iba'a llamar, that's your fill in the blank formula. It's a 3-word block. Well, when you put a pronoun in front of it, that becomes that person is the recipient of your action. So now you have a 4-word sequence. And that's how you build complex sentences, and that's how you decode them.
Okay.
So, okay, so for tomorrow, if you can make a few sentences with pronouns. Sharon, you did fantastic today. Please do a few more of those challenging ones. Wally, you can do whatever you want that's challenging you. Go experiment,
Okay.
have fun.
Okay.
Cindy, you do the same.
Okay.
Más frases estaban solo en la cabeza.
Muy bien.
Mi cabeza.
Mi cabeza.
Sí.
Adios.
Adios.
Nos vemos mañana. Bye.
Bye.